This SYNERGi how-to video will cover how to send out a compliance questionnaire, as well as other features surrounding the questionnaires and their responses. This video will cover the following aspects of the questionnaire process. Feel free to skip ahead to the timecode of the feature you wish to learn more about. How to send out a compliance questionnaire, which includes what is authenticated mode, include control details in the questionnaire, include only relevant control tests, include latest control test answers, require pre-submission review, selecting recipients, what is extended visibility, configuring questionnaire notifications, and selecting relevant scope objects. This video will also cover resending questionnaires, changing the questionnaire recipients, suspending questionnaires, i.e. putting questionnaires on hold, extending the questionnaire due date, changing the questionnaire reviewer, reissuing a questionnaire, viewing questionnaire responses, editing questionnaire responses, requesting a re-review, and finally, removing and re-adding a questionnaire. How to send out a compliance questionnaire. Compliance questionnaires are sent out via the compliance assessment section, which is found in the compliance module. You must first create what is known as an assessment before you can send out a compliance questionnaire. An assessment will serve as a one-stop repository for a questionnaire, as it contains all of the questionnaire iterations and responses, any remediation actions relating to the questionnaire, and any evidence that has been provided. To create an assessment, click on the New Assessment button found in the top right corner of the assessment page. Within the overlay, provide a title, an owner, and an optional description for the assessment. Once created, drill down into the assessment detailed view. This page will be empty at first, and you will need to attach a questionnaire in order to populate the assessment. Navigate to the questionnaires table and click on the Attach Questionnaire button to begin the sending questionnaire process. There are many features within this overlay that will be covered in further detail later on in this video, but as a brief overview on how to send a questionnaire, select the questionnaire you wish to send, select how often you wish the questionnaire to be issued. Selecting Send Now will send the questionnaire just the once. Choose who you want the questionnaire to be sent to, click on Submit, check the scope objects that have automatically been linked to the assessment, activate the questionnaire to send it out. What is authenticated mode? A questionnaire sent out via the authenticated mode requires login credentials in order to access the questionnaires. If the questionnaire is sent to an existing user, they can access the questionnaire via the URL found in the email they have been sent, and they can log into the questionnaire view using their username and password. However, if an authenticated questionnaire is sent to a new user, they will need to set up an account before they can access the questionnaire. The new users will be sent a user registration email where they can set up an account. These new users will be assigned to a limited access role of questionnaire user, where they will only be able to see the questionnaire dashboard and the section or sections they have been assigned to. To send out a questionnaire via the authenticated mode, ensure the authenticated toggle is activated when you are selecting the questionnaire you wish to send out. Include control details in the questionnaire. This optional feature allows you to include control details within the questionnaire view, and they will provide additional context for answering the compliance questionnaire. Setting this toggle to yes will display the following details in this info bubble found above the control test: the ID of the control that the test is linked to, the standards library the control is associated with. Clicking on this info bubble will then display the text of the control description. By default, every test from all standards will have the control details shown. However, you can narrow this down so only certain standard details are shown. Include relevant control tests. This optional feature will ensure a questionnaire contains only the questions that are relevant to the linked scope object. For context, when a questionnaire is attached to an assessment, SYNERGi will look at all the tests within the questionnaire, identify the controls these tests are associated with, find the scope objects that these controls are linked to, and then attach these scope objects to the questionnaire. When the questionnaire is sent out, there will be one iteration sent for each linked scope object. A situation may arise where several of the attached scope objects may only have a handful of controls that are affected by a questionnaire that has many questions. Therefore, a lot of the questions within this questionnaire may not be applicable to these linked scope objects. This option will ensure only the control tests relevant to the scope objects are included in the questionnaire iterations that are sent out. Just a heads up, you will get a chance to choose which scope objects will be sent questionnaires before the questionnaire iterations are sent out. Include latest control test answers. This optional toggle allows you to include the most recent questionnaire results. This option should be utilised if a questionnaire is to be sent out on a schedule, so when the next iteration is to be sent out, the latest set of answers are included. If the questionnaire responses have been edited after the previous questionnaire was submitted, these edited responses will be included within the new iteration. How to edit questionnaire responses is covered in further detail later on in this video. Require pre-submission review. A pre-submission review is an optional feature where you can ensure the questionnaire is reviewed by a SYNERGi user before it is marked as completed. During this review, the questionnaire can be modified by a reviewer or rejected and sent back to the original recipient. If a questionnaire is rejected, a justification will be provided explaining why the questionnaire was rejected and what could be done to ensure it is accepted. This is a complex feature, and the pre-submission review is covered in more detail in a separate video, a link to which can be found in the description for this video. However, as a brief tutorial to ensure a questionnaire undergoes a pre-submission review is as follows. Set the Require Pre-Submission Review toggle to Yes. Select who you wish to conduct the pre-submission review. This can be a new or existing user. And just a heads up, you can change the questionnaire reviewer should you wish to. Simply click on the edit icon next to the name of the user within the reviewer column and choose who you wish to be the new reviewer. Selecting recipients. When attaching a questionnaire, there are several options when choosing who to send the questionnaire to. You can send the questionnaire to multiple recipients should you wish to. Existing SYNERGi users. Select this option if you wish to send the questionnaires to users already logged within the platform. When you select an existing user, they will be assigned the additional role of questionnaire user. Non-SYNERGi users. Select this option if you wish to send the questionnaire to external and/or non-SYNERGi users. You will need to provide a first and last name along with the email address of the recipient. Once entered, click on the Add Recipient button. This will add the non-SYNERGi user to a recipients field, allowing you to enter the details for any additional recipients you wish to send the questionnaire to. Just a heads up, if you spot a mistake, you can remove a recipient from this field by clicking on the X next to their name. Scope Object Owners. Select this option if you wish the questionnaire iterations to be sent to scope object owners. As explained earlier, when attaching a questionnaire, SYNERGi will automatically link the scope objects that are associated with the questionnaire to the assessment. When the questionnaire is sent out, there will be one iteration sent for each of the linked scope objects. Reminder, you will get a chance to choose which scope objects will be sent questionnaires before the iterations are sent out. Just a heads up, please ensure the scope object owner fields are populated, otherwise you will not be able to select this option when attaching a questionnaire. Since you can send compliance questionnaires to multiple users, you can choose a combination of new and existing users should you wish to. Please note, you cannot select the new or existing user options and the scope object owner option. If the questionnaire is being sent out via the Authenticated mode and also being sent to new users, these new users will have to create an account in order to access the questionnaire. Any new users will be sent a user registration email along with the questionnaire emails. What is extended visibility? This option is best used in conjunction with questionnaires sent out via the Authenticated mode, questionnaires that have multiple sections, and also have a preliminary questionnaire. If extended visibility is set to yes, this option will allow recipients to view every section of a questionnaire, not just the sections they have been assigned to. For more information on the preliminary questionnaires, please consult the Completing a Preliminary Questionnaire section of the user guide. Configuring questionnaire notifications. This section of the Add Question overlay allows you to select who should be notified regarding the questionnaires dispatch and completion. You can select a user type, such as a questionnaire owner, recipient, or reviewer. Please note, the format these notifications take and how often they are sent out is configured on a questionnaire by questionnaire basis. The notifications are configured via the questionnaire wizard within step 3. Please consult the user guide for more information on configuring these questionnaire notifications. At this point, all of the questionnaire options should have been configured within the overlay, and you can now attach the questionnaire to the assessment. Click on the Submit button at the bottom of the overlay to complete the attachment. The questionnaire will be added to the questionnaires table, but it will be inactive. This is so you can configure the scope objects before the questionnaire is sent out. Selecting relevant scope objects. As a reminder, when a questionnaire is attached to an assessment, SYNERGi will look at the tests within the questionnaire, identify the controls these tests are associated with, find the scope objects that these controls are linked to, and attach these scope objects to the questionnaire. Before the questionnaire is sent out, you are given the chance to review the scope objects associated with the questionnaire, and unlink any that are not relevant to the assessment. Simply hover over the More Actions icon and select Unlink. You can unlink multiple scope objects at once by selecting the scope objects you wish to unlink, and then click on the Master Unlink option found in the header of the table. In some cases, there may be a delay between attaching a questionnaire and sending it out. During this time, scope objects may have been created or updated, and they are now relevant to the assessment. To add these now relevant scope objects, click on the Link Scope Objects button found above the table and select the objects you wish to include in the assessment. Just a reminder, a questionnaire iteration will be sent out for every scope object listed in this table. So if there are 10 scope objects within the table, 10 iterations of the questionnaire will be sent out, one for each scope object. Resending questionnaires. If a questionnaire has not been opened or has been in progress for a while, you can resend a questionnaire or a questionnaire section. Resending a questionnaire or a section will simply send out another email containing a questionnaire URL to the original recipient. If you wish to change the questionnaire recipient, you can do so by clicking on the Modify Recipient icon. This is covered in more detail within the Changing the Questionnaire Recipient section of the video. Please note, you can only resend a questionnaire or section if it has not been opened or is still in progress. You cannot resend a questionnaire if it has a status of completed or in review. Changing the questionnaire recipients. If a questionnaire is still in progress or has yet to be opened, you can change who the questionnaire is assigned to. This is quite useful if a questionnaire has many sections but there is just one section preventing it from being completed. To change the recipient, first expand the questionnaire and click on the Modify Recipient icon within the section you wish to update. This will open an overlay which contains a list of the current recipients and provides the option to add additional recipients to the questionnaire section. Here you can add an existing SYNERGi user or provide the details of the new user you wish to send the questionnaire to. Just a reminder, if the questionnaire has been sent out via the Authenticated mode, then a user registration email will be sent for any new users that are added as a recipient. Once you have modified the recipient, click on the Submit button to confirm the changes. Suspending questionnaires, i.e. putting questionnaires on hold. You may wish to put a questionnaire on hold, or a certain section of a questionnaire. To do so, first find the questionnaire iteration you wish to suspend and click on the active toggle so it is off. To put a section on hold, expand the questionnaire, find the section, and set the active toggle to off. When the questionnaire is inactive, it will have a status of on hold. This will freeze the countdown towards the due date and make a note of how much time is left. Once reactivated, the countdown clock will begin again with the time remaining and continue until the due date. When a questionnaire is on hold, the questionnaire recipients cannot access the questionnaire and will be presented with a warning message if they attempt to do so. In the rare case that a questionnaire is put on hold while a recipient is completing a section, they will be prevented from submitting the questionnaire and will be shown a warning message explaining why. They will be prompted to save and exit the questionnaire so their answers are saved within the system so they can be submitted at a later date. Extending the questionnaire due date. Quite often, a questionnaire due date will need to be extended. To do this, find the questionnaire iteration you wish to extend the due date for, hover over More Actions, and select the Extend Due Date option. This will open an overlay where you can provide a new due date. Please note you can only increase the due date of a questionnaire, you cannot shorten it. And also note, only questionnaires that are in progress or have yet to be opened can have their due dates extended. Changing the questionnaire reviewer. Like with modifying a questionnaire's recipient, you may wish to change the reviewer of a questionnaire. Please note, you can only change the reviewer of a questionnaire if the questionnaire is to undergo a pre-submission review. Otherwise, this column will simply read not applicable. For more information on the questionnaire pre-submission review, please consult the relevant sections of the user guide. Reissuing a questionnaire. When a questionnaire has been submitted, you can reissue a questionnaire. This will create a new and separate iteration of the questionnaire, where each of the responses will be pre-populated with the answers provided in the original iteration. Any supporting material such as evidence and comments will also be included within this reissued questionnaire. Please note, you can only reissue a questionnaire as a whole, and only when every section has been submitted as completed. You cannot reissue a single section. When you reissue a questionnaire, you can choose to send the new iteration to the same set of recipients as before, or a whole new set of different users. Select the existing users you wish to send the questionnaire to, or provide the details for these new users. For clarity, when reissuing a questionnaire, you will be reissuing just that iteration. For example, if the questionnaire has multiple iterations associated with it, due to lots of scope objects being associated with the assessment, or the questionnaire has been sent out on a monthly schedule, then only a single iteration will be reissued, not the whole batch of the initial questionnaire issuing. Viewing questionnaire responses. Once a questionnaire has been completed, you can drill down into the detailed response where you can view the answers and the supporting material attached to the questionnaire. There are 3 views within the response page: a questionnaire overview, a section overview, and the questionnaire detailed view. The questionnaire overview provides a breakdown of how many responses have passed, displayed in green, and how many have failed, displayed in red. The section summary table will provide an overview of the pass and fail rates on a section-by-section basis. Within the response summary, you may find some questions contain a not applicable value. This is when the response is neither a pass nor a fail. For example, if a questionnaire has been skipped over because logic has been applied to the questionnaire, then this question will not have been answered and is therefore not applicable. In the example on screen, there is a second set of KPIs and table columns for the response assessment. This is only displayed if a custom assessment group has been applied to a questionnaire. Please note, this assessment group is an optional feature and cannot retroactively be added to a questionnaire. Should you wish to include a custom assessment group, it must be added to a questionnaire before it is sent out. The response assessment provides an overview of the assessment values that have been applied to the responses. These values are applied via the section overview, which will be covered in the next section of this video. You can also provide an assessment for the questionnaire as a whole. Click on the Edit button found in the top right corner of the page. Here you can provide overview assessment details such as who is conducting the assessment, the date on which the assessment started, along with any notes or findings. Just a heads up, custom fields can be added to the assessment if you wish to capture more assessment data. To access the section overview, click on the name of the sections you wish to view within the navigation pane. This will display all of the questions and responses contained within the section, and the KPIs at the top of the page will display the data relevant to just that section. Like most tables within SYNERGi, you can configure which columns are displayed. In the example on screen, several columns have been hidden, but can be displayed once again by clicking on the table cog and selecting the columns you wish to view. The section overview also allows you to assign assessment values to the responses. This is provided an assessment group has been added to the questionnaire before it was sent out. To assign a value, simply click on the drop-down within the assessment value column and select the applicable value. This will then update the response assessment KPIs within the section view and also within the questionnaire overview. From the section overview, you can navigate to the detailed view for each of the questions. Either click on the question within the navigation pane found on the left, or click on the chevron within the questionnaire row. The question detailed view provides all aspects of a response, which include the response or answer provided, any comments or evidence that was supplied as supporting material, any remediation actions that were created via the questionnaire, either manually by the recipient or automatically by SYNERGi, as well as the compliance data for the control test. Just a heads up, all of the evidence files associated with the questionnaire are collated within the evidence table found in the assessment detailed view. You can download a copy of these evidence files by clicking on the hyperlink of the file name. As the questions within a compliance questionnaire are based around control tests, the compliance information regarding these tests are displayed at the top of the page beneath the question text. This informs you which standards library the test belongs to, the control it is linked to, and also a hyperlink to the control test. Clicking on this hyperlink will navigate you to the relevant test detailed page for the scope object that the test is associated with. Within the questionnaire detailed view, you can also create a remediation action should you wish to. The action will be a compliance questionnaire action, where the ID will be prefixed with QCA. You can also edit and delete actions within this view should you wish to. Editing questionnaire responses. Provided your user role has the correct set of permissions, you can also edit the responses for a questionnaire. This is quite a powerful feature, as you are essentially changing the answers that have been provided for a questionnaire. Therefore, this action will be noted within the audit logs. If your user role doesn't allow you to edit a response, the relevant button within the question detailed view will be disabled. When editing a response, you may select an answer that no longer requires supporting material, such as evidence or an action. Changing the response will not remove the supporting material from the system, but you will be reminded that such items may no longer be applicable. Likewise, when editing a response, you may select an answer that requires you to provide these additional items, and therefore you can upload evidence and create actions within the edit response overlay. Requesting a re-review. If a questionnaire has undergone a pre-submission review and now has a status of completed, a feature unique to this scenario will become available, where a compliance manager can request a re-review. This will send the questionnaire back from the completed status to the in review status and email the reviewer or reviewers, alerting them that the questionnaire needs to be reviewed again. When requesting a re-review, you will need to provide a reason as to why this questionnaire needs reviewing again. You will also be given the opportunity to extend the due date of the questionnaire to accommodate this re-review, as well as the ability to change the reviewer. Removing and re-adding a questionnaire. The questionnaire feature within SYNERGi will inevitably be updated, and you may wish to take advantage of these new features within your assessments. Therefore, you will need to remove your questionnaire from the assessment and re-add it with these new features. Don't worry, removing a questionnaire from an assessment will not affect your compliance results, nor will it delete any of the responses or iterations that have been provided so far. Deleting a questionnaire will simply remove it from the assessment, allowing you to re-add it with the desired settings. You will still be able to reissue or resend questionnaire responses from the previously attached questionnaires, and also view the answers provided. This how-to video was made for version 6.40 of SYNERGi. Please check the video description for links and updates regarding the compliance questionnaire process and any updates that have been made past version 6.40. Should you need additional assistance, please check the user guide within the SYNERGi platform or consult the SYNERGi support team. Thank you for watching.